welcome to my first ever podcast. We don't have a name yet, so if you have any name suggestions, you can let me know. Oscar is gate crashing the party because he wants attention. Honestly, at home, he sits the other side of the room from me, but as soon as I need to do something like work, he's like, no, Mum, I want attention. So anyway, Oscar is joining us. Today, I wanted to talk about being a beginner and new to exercise. I was inspired to make this because one of my regular yoga members I did a little trial of strength classes before we're launching the new classes, and so we've been doing that for the last 6 weeks. We just finished last week, and I only knew this at the end of the 6 weeks, but she told me in her very first class that she turned to her daughter and said, I don't think I'm going to come back. And the reason for that was because of one particular exercise, which was lunges, which are super hard, and I don't judge her for thinking about quitting. Luckily, her daughter did say to her, give it a chance, try a few more classes, and she managed to complete the whole 6 weeks and is feeling so much stronger, more energetic, and just better for it, and she is going to continue coming to the strength classes. But it made me realise that maybe I hadn't set the right expectations at the start of the 6 week block, or really explained how you should approach starting anything new with when it comes to exercise. So it will probably feel hard for the first 2 to 4, if not even 6 weeks. And even after you've done that initial 6 weeks, exercise is supposed to challenge you, but you should enjoy it. So you will still hopefully find that things are challenging, but that initial, oh my God, what's happening with my body sort of passes, and you learn to understand how much you can challenge yourself, how much weight you can lift. But in that first 2 to 4 weeks, that is probably the time where you're most likely to start something and then quit because it didn't feel good in your body. And the reason that the first 2 to 4 weeks doesn't feel good is because you're giving your body a new stimulus, something that is never done before, and during the exercise you just don't know, should I be feeling this way? But also day after, or even up to 2 days, 3 days, you can experience something called DOMS, which stands for delayed onset muscle soreness, and basically it's just the after effect of what you have done with your body because your body hasn't been used to that stimulus. Now, if after 4 to 6 weeks of doing the same program, you are still getting intense soreness that doesn't go away after a little bit of a warm up the next day or two, then you are probably pushing your body too hard, or you are not recovering enough. So you need to start looking at other things like your sleep and your protein intake, your food intake, and just your overall activity level. But that is a whole other topic that I can save for another podcast. So something else that people don't consider when they are starting exercise for the first time is that it's not just about like body's physical capabilities, like your flexibility or your strength. When you're doing a new exercise, you're actually learning a new skill. You're learning, your nervous system is learning how to perform a specific movement. So that first 2 to 4 weeks, you're really just learning the proper mechanics of your body and being able to move in the correct way. That's why it's really helpful if you come to a class instead of doing things at home for the first time, because you can have someone who can look at what you're doing and correct any sort of balances or just movement mechanics that are not quite right. And you're probably unlikely to hurt yourself at home because you probably don't have very heavy weights. You're probably doing body weight work, but you're also maybe not getting the most results out of your exercise because you're not moving in the most efficient way possible. So the other thing about being a beginner when you come into class is that you might feel embarrassed either about your size, your physical ability, just not understanding terminology. So especially in the fitness space, in different exercise styles, they all have their own specific names for exercises, or talking about in our strength training, for example, our sets, reps. You can talk about circus style training, supersets. There's all these different words that you maybe don't know. So again, that's why it can be quite good to come into a class, because then you can ask the instructor What does this mean? What does that mean? And that's something that I would say I really hope that we've created in the studio environment, is that we are really non-judgmental, we are super friendly. All of our members will tell you the same thing, that we are just normal people all here to look after your body and get a little bit fitter, a little bit healthier. So if there's something that you don't understand or don't know, no one is going to judge you or laugh at you for asking a question. So please make sure that you ask the questions if you don't understand something. And like I said earlier, starting something new is hard, and you will probably feel like giving up at some point. Just like my member felt like it in her first class. She was not going to come back after doing some lunges. But luckily she did, like I said, because now she's at the other side of that, where she's starting to see the benefits of the hard work that she put in. And if you think about it, not just with exercise, but with everything in life, if it is worth the result, if it's worth getting, then it probably takes some effort to get there. And with exercise and just with everything in life, if a bit of hard work is required to go into it, then the results are probably worth it at the end. So think about something that you have achieved in your life already, that may be something that you have that someone else doesn't have, and realize that the reason you have that is because you put in the effort to get there. Oscar is making a second appearance. So that's all very well and good, me telling you it's worth it in the end, just do it. That's not very practical for you, so I wanted to give you some practical things that you can put into place to help if you are struggling as a beginner because something is feeling hard. So first things first, if you are coming to my classes, please do tell me during class or after class, preferably during, how you were feeling. I'm here to challenge you, to give you options, to help you get results, but I'm not in your body. I can't know how something feels to you. So you do need to communicate that back to me. And like I said before, we're not judgmental, we're super friendly. So if you were like, Lauren, I just don't want to do this, I don't like it, I will give you a different exercise to do. We'll scale it back. So whether you're in class or you're at home, take lunges, for example, that my member didn't like doing. You can take a different exercise that works the same muscle group. So lunges work your quads, work your glutes. Squats also work your quads and work your glutes. So you could do squats instead. Or maybe you're not even ready to lift weights. You could start with body weight exercises. You can reduce the intensity that way. You could do lunges, but do a smaller range of motion. So instead of bringing your knee really close to the floor, you only drop your knee down a little bit. So there's all sorts of modifications that you can put into place. I will say that you absolutely never have to do an exercise. There's always an alternative to what you're doing. But I would scale it back, start a little bit easier, even if it feels like so easy that it's not challenging. That is the place to start, and then you can just build up onto that. You can slowly increase your range of motion, slowly increase your intensity, or over a couple of weeks, build up to doing that specific exercise. But saying that, don't just give up on a specific exercise because it feels hard the first time you do it. Work your way up, and then get to the point where you physically probably can do something. But if it still doesn't just feel that great in your body, you're just like, these are absolutely horrible and I hate them, that you never have to do a specific exercise. It is your body, your life, you get to decide how you move. So even if you are physically capable of doing something and you just don't want to do it, let me know and we'll give you a different exercise. The second thing you can do is just like specific exercises, but if you are really struggling or you're just really not sure about what your body can physically do, you are more than welcome to let me know that you only want to stay for the first 10 minutes of class, the first 10-15 minutes, and do the warm-up and then leave, and I am totally happy for you to do that. Just have a chat with me before class and let me know that. Or if you're doing things by yourself, because not everyone who listens to this might be coming to the studio, but if you are scared to just walk into the gym for the first time, because you're like, I don't know. Sometimes people are just scared because they don't know where anything is. I had a different member who was telling me that when she came to her first class, she was worried because she was like, I don't know where to put my shoes. I don't know where to hang my coat. And I can understand, I can get that sometimes too, especially if you're walking in by yourself to somewhere for the first time, that you're just not sure where you're supposed to go or what to do, and you can feel a little bit stupid, even though we shouldn't. We all feel that way. So if you're walking into a place for the first time and you're going somewhere like a gym where there isn't going to be an instructor there telling you what to do, then Just scan the room quickly, find a piece of cardio equipment that you can jump on. So most people are pretty familiar with getting on a bike or a treadmill. There's usually a big green start button, just press start and you can go. And then spend 5 minutes walking on the treadmill and looking around you and just scanning your surroundings, see what people are doing. And then from there, you will feel more confident to maybe go try another piece of equipment in the gym. And my last tip is to set yourself realistic expectations. So usually when people start something new, especially fitness related, they are probably motivated by something to do it, and they sign up, or they're like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go to 5 classes a week, and I'm going to do this, whatever. But if you were going from doing absolutely nothing to 5 classes a week, one, like I said, your body is probably going to not be happy with you. You will feel sore and you will likely not want to come back the second week. It's probably not sustainable with your current life. People spend their time, they've got their time allocated already as it is. And usually if you're starting something new, you have to figure out where that is going to fit. So be realistic with how many times you are going to come to a class or how long you're going to exercise, and start smaller and build your way up. I know it is really difficult when you're excited about something and you're just like, I just want to get going, I want to get results, I want to do it. But in the long term, I think if you look at everyone who has been successful in their fitness journey, most people start with smaller, consistent actions. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. You want to be consistent. So you don't want to be doing 5 days of exercise on week 1, 4 days of exercise on week 2, and then week 3 you don't go to the gym at all. You'd be much better off if you did 2 days of exercise week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then maybe week 5 you're like, do you know what, I'm going to add in a 3rd day to this week. So those are my tips. See if I can remember them to summarize them. So tip 1 is to make sure you communicate how you're feeling to your instructor if you're going to a class, and let them know if something doesn't work for your body. Tip 2 is to then scale it back. So you're going to bring the intensity down to something that is manageable for you in your current state. And tip 3 was, what was tip 3? I can't remember if I had 3 or 4. Anyway, I think the last one, we'll go with what the last tip was, which was to start small and scale over time so that you can stay consistent. If you have any questions about joining the studio, any questions at all about being a beginner to exercise, you don't even have to be coming into the studio, then feel free to send me a message on Instagram. It is at the Yoga Studio Aberdeen, or you can leave a comment wherever this video is.